Pickup Lines is presented by Gamez Law Firm. Personal injury guidance for more than 50 years. Gamez Law fights. By Integrity Roofing and Siding. Family owned and operated for more than 40 years, serving the San Antonio area for roofing, siding, and renovation needs. And by the Sabinal Group. For nearly 20 years, serving the San Antonio region through professional minority general contracting services. Pickup Lines is broadcast from inside the all-electric Lexus RZ 450E, courtesy of North Park Lexus at Dominion and North Park Lexus of San Antonio. Hello, everybody. Welcome in once again. You have found it. Pickup Lines, the talk show in a Lexus. And we're going to have a lot of fun today. We're going to squeeze in one or two more episodes before the new year comes in. And this is Chris Herrera, who is a man of multiple talents and interests and likes and everything. But you might know him best locally here as the lead singer, the face of Mariachi Nuevo Estilo. And if you need a visual proof,
no, that's about. I didn't have my beard right there.
hey, that's a clean cut, clean shaven,
Clean cut man.
Chris Herrera. But now, yeah, he's got the beard, and he's still a young. I'm still old enough to be his dad.
I'm a young lad.
You are. You just had a birthday, right? Not too long ago.
Yes, my birthday's September 17th, guys.
Okay, very good. So we're sitting here outside a local coffee shop because I just found out a little while ago that you have a daily routine.
Daily.
Which includes a stop at Dutch Bros, right?
Yes.
And so this is not a paid advertisement for Dutch Bros, but this
Not
is
at all.
literally.
We would love it though.
You
we would
said,
love a
well,
paid
hopefully one
advertisement.
day, but you said this is how you start your day every morning.
Every morning, I wake up about 6 in the morning, get ready, come. Mine looks a little creamier than his, but it's a little trick I showed him. So like that's how we normally order it over there.
Yeah.
It's just a medium iced cold brew,
Okay.
sugar-free pumpkin, and soft top. But the trick is you got to spin it so that soft top could go into the coffee. And
right.
That's why mine looks a little.
Thank you very much.
No creamer, no
Okay.
sugar.
Okay. Now I ask this because obviously your voice, you make a living with your voice. So does the
Some of my living.
Some of your, we'll get into that here in just a little bit. But does the coffee enhance or help in any way that you're singing?
To be honest, man, a lot of vocalists, a lot of teachers have said don't have no creamer, don't have coffee, because caffeine dries out the vocal cords.
Ah.
But it is what it is. Unless I'm like sick or I'm hoarse, then I won't go have my coffee because it just needs to be water, hot teas, green teas. But for the most part, every morning I have to have it before I go to work.
So Nuevo Estilo, which by the way, I had to look it up because I was just double checking. So it stands for, in English, it translates to new style.
Yes.
Nuevo, new Estilo style.
Yes. And a lot of people mispronounce the name. We're going to perform at shows, private events, and we're like, don't miss it up. It's Mariachi Nuevo Estilo. And they're like, okay. And then they go on stage and they're like, all right, presenting Mariachi Estilo Nuevo. And we're like, you missed up our name. Now they're not going to find us.
Yeah, but a lot of people have found you. And, you know, we were talking about, you've done some pretty remarkable things.
Yes.
I should mention, I was wanting to do this show earlier, like maybe a week ago or so. But you teach.
Yes.
And so a week ago, you were probably in final exams or in, wrapping up before Christmas. And so people may not realize you teach. That's your other profession.
Yes, I have you could call it my 8 to 5, 9 to 5 job.
9 to 5.
I'm a jack of all trades, like you mentioned
Right.
earlier. But yeah, I work at Southside ISD at Southside High School with a special ed program and CTE program. I transition some of the students certain periods of the day and this and that. And yeah, that's my 8, 9 to 5 job there.
That is super cool that you do that.
Yes, thank you.
And it's rewarding for you, I think. I mean, it's
100%.
It's not an easy job, I would imagine, but
No.
but you love it.
I do. I really do. I graduated university at Texas A&M here in San Antonio back in 2019 of December, and I got hired on at the high school in 2020. Actually, December of 2019. I started in January.
We are sitting in the south side of San Antonio right now, so you essentially have not left the south side.
No, I went to South San High School. This is like middle, kind of like to the right south side. I believe the middle south side is South San, South Park Mall area.
Yeah.
35 instead of Zamora, so that's like middle south side.
What are some of your signature just life experiences growing up? You mentioned the mall and everything.
For sure.
And what did growing up on the south side mean to you?
It meant family and culture. I'm heavy on culture, the cultura. I remember being in school and we had the Mayan theater. Mama Margie's. You know what I mean?
Oh, yes, I
Mama
do.
Margie's is a staple. But I remember the OGs know this. The old Mama Margie's was where the Walgreens is at on Military in Santa
Right.
Zamora. But I remember they got rid of it because it always got flooded. But
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
Mama Margie's, a movie theater. There's skating ring. Remember Skate Time?
Sure.
Or
yeah.
Skate Land, something like that.
Skateland, I believe. Yeah. I am.
And yeah, it's heavy. I love it. I really love the South Side, and I haven't moved out of the South
That's
Side.
awesome. But your mariachi music has taken you quite literally all over the world. We
Yes.
were just talking about how you played a gig earlier this year in Alaska.
In Wasilla, Alaska.
Wasilla,
Crazy.
Alaska.
I remember being a kid in elementary school, and I mean, I didn't know I was going to be a musician or anything, but I remember saying, one of these days I'm going to go to Alaska and build a cabin over there, right? And thank God that, you know, Mariachi Entertainment has brought us business to Alaska.
But you said you got the email or the outreach from the family in Wasilla, and you thought it was
Yes,
fake news.
my buddy Vince Castillo, the owner of Nuevo Estilo,
Yes.
he got the email. He called me, hey, Chris, oh my God. And I was like, it's fake, man. I mean, it's a Mexican restaurant. Nothing to be down on Mexican restaurants or anything.
in Alaska, though.
In Alaska. So, like, you know, we do big corporate events. We're
Right.
blessed. So I had to do my research. I told Vince, wait, hold a minute. Now I go looking into the family, the names, boom, boom, boom. And then I'm like, hold on. They're pretty well connected. They have a big restaurant. They have about 3 locations in Alaska. We're going. Like, this is real. But no, we don't ever get excited for stuff like that until we know contracts are signed.
Right.
You know, we talk about a little bit of the numbers, flights, hotels, and all that stuff. And literally a week later, everything was booked. And we're like, we're really going to Alaska. So it's a blessed, they're a very good family. Chepo's Mexican Restaurant, shout out to them. Shout out to Chepo and his father. They had us out there for about a couple of days to do a Mexican heritage event with a Liberty Bell or something like that. And it was amazing. We got to meet other people from different countries over there
Right.
in Wasilla, Alaska.
So I've never been, but it seems like about as far away from Mexico as you could possibly get. So honestly, how would it mean the Mexican food in Alaska?
It was crazy.
Was it legit?
It was legit. We had the same question. Even we get there, we meet the son. He's about my age, about 32,
Okay,
31.
okay.
I'm 30, by the way.
Yeah.
And
You're
yeah,
a
we're
kid.
like, Chepo, how did y'all, what,
What's the story?
the culture Mexicans in Alaska? He's like, yeah, man, my family lineage, we've been here for like over 30 years. And we're like, wow, it's pretty cool. So they have a very heavy following over there. The Mexican food is really good. It's kind of compared to like, I don't know, like, it's like a Mirasol vibe, Sol Luna vibe.
Okay.
But they have their own mix on their food. And it was
With the
really
cheese
good.
buzz and the margaritas.
Shh, woo. Yes, sir.
Okay, we'll leave it at that. But that's really cool because in those cases you make some good money. You
For sure.
obviously they take care of all the accommodations, and so
Yes.
you get to go visit place.
It was
literally
amazing.
a cool place.
Yes, they were mentioning that they want us back 2025. So we'll see.
That's
when
awesome.
we get those dates started.
I would think you get a lot of repeat business. You know, a lot of word of mouth, but repeat business. Somebody sees you perform, they really like what you do, and so they want to get you again for the following year or whatever.
Yes,
Yeah.
we've had repeat business since the group's been formed, and we're grateful for our clients, friends, and family.
I love it. So there's 5 of you right now.
Yes.
Okay. So just to kind of give you a little background on the group was founded in 2012, right?
2012.
You were not part of the original
No.
group. You were in high school or you were in school at the time.
Yeah, I remember being a junior, senior in high school, and I remember I've been watching Ernie, guys, forever since I was a kid. I loved my mother, you know, single parent mom. She always woke up to open up the restaurant like about 4:30 in the morning, so I'll wake up with her, and there I go, turning on Fox 29, and I see
Thank you.
Mr. Ernie, and I was like, I don't know why, I just love this guy. Not like that, but
I appreciate
there's
it.
just something that just connected with me, and I'm like, you know what? So I remember seeing Mariachi Nuevo Estilo, and I was like, what kind of a mariachi does this type of music? As Ernie mentioned, Mariachi Nuevo Estilo, new style.
Yeah.
And they were playing, I think they were playing Moves Like Jagger or something
I remember
like that.
Bruno Mars.
Yeah,
I
and
remember
some Bruno Mars
when I
stuff.
heard Moves Like Jagger, was it Maroon 5?
Yeah.
And then I'll never forget, and Bruno Mars, and I heard that from a mariachi group, and I was like, what is this?
On that segment, I think the very first time they were on the show, they did it was Gangnam Style. Gangnam Style was
Yes!
crazy trending around the world, and they did it. They
That's
pulled
right.
it off, and they mixed it with the cumbia,
Yes.
and it was out of this world.
That
like,
too.
you know, from an outsider, not in the mariachi community, you're gonna be like, what the heck is going on? And they sound crazy. Like, let's do it. Let's book these guys.
Right. That was super cool. Some of you may remember the group had a run on America's Got Talent, right? Which is a reality show and talent show on, I believe, NBC.
And season 8.
But again, so they were founded in 2012. Then America's Got Talent happens in 13. And it was right after that where you came on board.
Yes, I joined the group in 2014.
Right.
And the rest is history, man. You know, it's a great experience. We've had a good run, and we're going strong to this day. You know, we're very blessed.
So you're coming up on 10, or you are at the 10-year anniversary of that. So again, you were literally a kid when this is happening. What do you remember about that time being courted for the group? How did that happen where you joined, and did you ever think you'd be 10 years later still doing your thing?
No, not crazy. So it all started by, I remember my senior year, I was in a mariachi group called Mariachi Real Guadalajara with one of my buddies. Shout out to Roger Martinez. And I was in that mariachi group in high school. So long story short, some of those members from that mariachi group all had that style of like mixing the new generation with cumbias, with this, to pop, to rock, and all that stuff.
Right.
But it just didn't like necessarily hit so much like the way it did with Nuevo Estilo. Not to knock anybody before me or any of those members. And I remember when I got out of that group, half of my senior year, I joined like a collegiate group called Mariachi Corazon de San Antonio.
Right.
It was for funds for college, for high school students.
Like an all-star mariachi group. Yeah.
It was a shout out to Dr. Cruz. She got funded through the city.
Yes.
And she went to different high schools to choose certain members, and she formed a group.
Right.
And within that group, I had one of my friends, Marissa, a violin player, say, hey, Mariachi Nuevo Estilo, they're looking for a trumpet player. And before that, one of the ex-members from the group I used to play with was telling me for a year prior to that, like, hey, dude, you need to join Nuevo Estilo. They need a new horn player. They need help with vocals. And I was always blowing it off. It wasn't until I met Marissa again in Mariachi Corazon, and she's like, you need to join. And I'm like, you know what? Let's do it. At the time, I wasn't playing professionally because I had got out of Roger's group. I was starting my first semester at Northwest Vista College.
Right.
I had $0, and I was like, let's just do it. You know, it's a side gig. It's a side thing for me. I love it. And I remember I joined in February of 2014.
Now, when I want to ask you about like the more traditional, the old school mariachi groups that we've grown up with and have been around forever and are household names in a lot of cases.
Yes. Was
there resistance from them, or when they're hearing these young kids coming up playing Psy and Bruno Mars and Maroon 5, do you think maybe there was a little, mixed feelings about that?
For sure. I mean, even to this day, but it's more like kind of mutual respect now. I mean, before it was like, oh my God, even some still to this day, traditionalists to the max. Yeah.
Yes.
But I think you get that in any type of genre of music. Whenever you start switching things, the traditionalists come out and they're like, what's going on? You're not supposed to do that. But at the end of the day, we're giving people what they want.
Right.
Not necessarily we have clients like, we need to play this. No. We do it because that's what Mariachi Nuevo Estilo is known about. But we know a lot of people in the community that have their own groups, and they're traditionalist mariachi. They do a little bit outside too. They do like My Girl. They do some switches. But we have some resistance throughout the years and stuff. But at the same time, we still do traditional mariachi. We still have respect to the lineage, to the culture of traditional mariachi. But when people hire us, they hire us for who we are and what we do.
Right.
We do still get clients, hey, we know you do that, but puedes tocar una hora. Can you play an hour full of traditional? We're like, of course we can.
Sure.
And we give the clients what they want. At the end of the day, they're satisfied. We're happy. We love what we do. We put on a show.
Yeah.
Yeah. But as far as
it can't hurt to have a larger catalog and have a diverse catalog and everything. Not to go off on a tangent, but you're a car guy. You love cars. So you'll appreciate this because he was talking about the RZ and the Dynamics guy. So just if you'll indulge me for a minute, have you seen this?
Let's see. I thought I was already looking at the sky.
No, man, that's the sky.
That's amazing. Do that one more time.
So,
guys, did y'all see that? Look at this over here.
They call it the dynamic sky, right? So if the sun was shining, right, we don't want the sun in our face. No, but since we're in the shade and everything, you push the button.
Boom.
Now you've got the clear blue South San Antonio sky behind us.
You know where this car would go good with? I love traveling to Colorado every year all the time.
Yeah.
This would look beautiful in the mountains.
Can you imagine the Rocky Mountains behind us and everything? So, but beautiful. I just wanted to show you that because I know you're passionate mariachi music and cars.
And cars for sure. I'm a Ford guy. I love Chevy too, but I'm specifically a Ford guy.
And you said you love to wear hats and everything.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not bald, guys. I have hair.
No, I wasn't calling out your
No, but most people are like, "Oh, look what's under the hat." I'm like, "I have hair." You know?
Legit,
I just
can
love
confirm.
hats.
I can confirm.
I'm actually wearing this cap because I believe Justin Bieber made this cap specifically, the camo with NY.
Yeah.
He made it trendy. So.
And you just went to New York.
I just got back.
Okay.
Yesterday, or day before yesterday.
Man, okay.
So I had to wear it. I think I'm a little trendy myself.
No, I see that, man. You pull it off. I mean, I need to get with your stylist and everything and find out what else. We were talking about just the time management, because you teach. Obviously, you're on winter break right now, but you'll go back in January. And the gigs, you were saying you probably average anywhere between 12 to 15 gigs, mariachi gigs a month.
We could say more like 15 to 20.
15 to 20.
Yes.
And I would imagine some days you have multiple, morning, afternoon, evening, late night.
Majority of our performances are like about Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, but we do get performances still throughout the week. So some of the guys in the group, we do have day jobs.
Right.
And so it's kind of hard to like distinguish that, like, hey, can you perform? Or sometimes I'll get 2 or 3 guys together. Hey, let's do it. And you
have a business where you put up and you take down Christmas lights?
Yes. Thank God for the blessings that he's bestowed upon myself and others. But yeah, I started my very first Christmas light installation and removal business this year, and it went very well.
That's awesome.
I surpassed my goal. I remember writing on one of my Spirals journals, I said, you know what, God, I'm a little religious guy. I said, you know what, I'll be blessed with doing these many houses. And I wrote down the time. And then before you knew it, it wasn't even the end of like October, November, and I already surpassed that. So I got kind of sentimental. I'm like, wow, it's kind of hard to believe in yourself at times, when you come into certain things in life. And
amen to that.
And it was a blessing in disguise.
But I've heard if you write it down, it's very effective. When you write it down, you can visualize your goal. And
I never looked at it like that. This was my first year doing that, writing stuff down. Typically, we're men, right? Oh, machista, oh, this and that. I can
Machismo, exactly.
It's in my head, but I say, you know what? It's different, and it makes you feel good. When you write stuff down, your emotions. It's a different type of emotion when you write stuff down. Carry a journal with you and write feelings, because it's true. When you write pen to paper, those emotions come out even more so,
And now you've got it in front of you.
Yes.
Have you written anything down for 2025 yet?
For sure. It's getting started. I still have more stuff to write. It's still, we're getting ready for the new year. But yeah, I think we have some good things working for, the Mariachi Nuevo Estilo, and some other things that I might have going on.
So I already have, he's going to promise me, because unfortunately, we do not have his trumpet here today.
My buddy Abraham has it. I called him.
But so I'm going to take a rain check, and I'm going to have him on again. So next time you're with me, you can play something here. But you were telling me about just the mouthpiece that you have on that horn.
Yes, everybody that knows me, knows of me, my buddies in the group. There's been times where I've maybe forgotten my mouthpiece or my horn, and I'm like, they're like, I have a horn. And I'm like, but I cannot play on the other mouthpieces. I don't know why. It's just a specific mouthpiece that I've had since my junior year in high school, that my band director, Mr. Esteban Montalvo, he gave us all those mouthpieces, and I've stuck with it. The mouthpiece is so beat from getting stuck in my horn. We beat it with hammers and other things. I always keep that mouthpiece. I haven't switched it.
And it can last you for hopefully a few more years.
For sure.
Yeah. You were saying, so you grew up, your mother was a single parent?
Yes.
You said she had a restaurant?
She don't have it, but she's been part of the restaurant business for Eddie's Taco House downtown at 35 and Ceballos.
Yes.
So the family, they've known me since I was a little lad,
A young lad.
And my mom's always been around the restaurant business even before that. But she's been with them almost going on, since like 2005.
So she's still around?
Yes.
You have siblings?
No siblings. I'm
just
the
two of you?
You know what? I think I might have one out there that my father said. But that's my sister. Shout out to Aisha de Leon. Yeah. So I think that's my sister.
You think?
I think.
Okay.
Because one year we're performing. Check this out, guys. Little story real quick.
Wait a minute. Okay.
It's 2015.
All right.
And the guys know this. So if the guys see this, they're going to be like, I remember.
Okay.
We were performing on the south side of San Antonio, 410 Old Pearsall Road. It was at Country Gold. Nice. We're performing, yada, yada, boom. I'm singing, this and that. And we're performing for a quinceanera. And I remember, the quinceanera in her court, they kept looking at me and they kept like smiling, laughing. And me and the guys were like, I mean, we get that quite often, but like, not like this, what's going on?
Right.
And then one of the girls comes up to me and says, hey, is your dad's name Chris? And me and my dad, we have the same name,
Right.
Chris Herrera. And I'm like, yeah, how do you know that? And she's like, well, look, that girl over there, that's your sister. And I was like, I don't have no brothers and sisters, you know? Well, come to be, you know, my dad had a relationship back in the day.
Okay.
And I suppose that's my sister. So she came up to me and she's like, hey, I'm your sister. Yeah, your grandpa's name's this, your grandma's name's this. So I'm like flabbergasted, right?
What?
So I call my grandparents at the time. Hey, what the hell's going on? I have a sister. I go my whole life. I'm a single.
Only child.
I'm the only child. So this freaks me out. I'm like, what?
Yeah, I would think so.
So yeah, I believe my sister hired a PI and all this stuff to find out where my dad was, my grandparents, and that was the year that she found out and stuff. So I think she's my sister because we have yet to get DNA, you know, from my father and stuff like that to know that that's my sister.
Would you? I mean, you could do like the Ancestry or the 23andMe. Have you considered that?
What is that?
What do you? They swab. You know, you swab your mouth and you
But
mail
through
it
me
off.
or my father?
Well, through you.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And then if your sister does it as well, it'll be all on your phone and you can see your family tree. And
wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
We'll talk later.
But yeah, that's the story about that. And the guys like,
what?
They know. I remember they saw my sister and they're like, oh my God, she looks like you and this and that. She has this. She's güerita like you. And I'm like, I kind of felt like, my God, I have a sister. It's not me no more.
I'm not.
But yeah, I love my sister. So Aisha, if you're seeing this, if you ever see this, I love you, girl.
Super cool. Super cool. All right. A few more minutes here with Chris Herrera, the very young face of Mariachi Nuevo Estilo. When was this taken?
That was taken in 2020 or 2019.
Oh my gosh.
So I still look the same, right?
It's pretty close. It's pretty close. Again, just without the beard and everything. Without the beard. Man, you have played some pretty cool stuff. We were talking about, boxing matches.
Yes.
Spurs games.
Spurs games.
I mean, do you have a top 5, top 10 list of all time? Like, just like you're playing and you're like, I can't believe we're here. We're doing this.
Canelo, for sure.
Canelo Alvarez
yes.
fight at the Alamodome in 2020.
Yes, December of 2020. It's not necessarily that it changed our lives, but changed our lives in the fact that we will forever be a part of history, in that type of way with the face of boxing, the Mexican culture's face of boxing. Canelo Alvarez, we get the phone call, we get the emails, and it was pretty prestigious, meaning like kind of hard we had to come up with an intro, and we kept sending them songs 3-4 in the morning, going to everybody's house trying to come up, and they're sending us back, no, that's not it, continue, what more do you have? And we finally figured out the algorithm, and we came up with what we came up with. And they envisioned, they gave us some information, like we envisioned a trumpet solo, and we wanted to go into another song, into his theme song, which is México Lindo y Querido. So we come up with something, and we're like, you know what? Since it's boxing, we need to do... So we came up with the song, and we got the song from Rocky, which is the Final Countdown.
Oh,
so
yes.
I made up a trumpet solo. So I came up with the trumpet solo, going into the Final Countdown with the guys and everybody, into his theme song, and the rest is history.
Which is crazy, because a lot of people don't think about, you have to arrange sometimes or come up with, a mashup.
Yes.
That's, and Canelo Alvarez, I mean, that's not no ordinary client. You gotta nail that. And
as far as I'm concerned, he didn't know about this. So, he didn't know this was actually a surprise through his personal boxer.
I see.
Eddie Reynoso. He's the one that said, hey, I want to get a mariachi for him, San Antonio. We want to do this way. And we found that out later through an interview after that fight.
Right.
That it was a surprise to him. He's like, I didn't know I was going to have this mariachi. They were so good and this and that. They hired folklorico dancers as well. And we personally know them. So.
Well, and with boxing being so big here in San Antonio, I mean, you could do that for years to come.
Oh, yes.
Good for you guys, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, man.
I would remind everybody, to take a sip of your Dutch Bros here, that
my coffee.
You can follow Mariachi Nuevo Estilo on all of the social media accounts, your favorite platforms, TikTok. I would imagine you guys do very well on TikTok.
Yeah, I mean, we're active, but not really, because again, we don't push out so much content because it's kind of hard. We kind of come up with new songs, new genres, and new matches and mixes. So whatever catches our eye, sometimes we'll record a quick snippet of a performance. But yeah, catch us on our Facebook under Mariachi Nuevo Estilo, Instagram, Mariachi Nuevo Estilo, and TikTok, official Mariachi Nuevo Estilo.
I love it. Okay. Any last closing thoughts here? Big plans for 2025? I know you said you wrote down some goals.
Yeah.
Anything else that we've left out?
We want to work, we want to get more into the bigger corporate events like we've done in the past.
Yeah.
More boxing events, thanks to Gamez Law Firm as well. We've done some performances with them. Quite frankly, a lot, some boxing events, a lot of their corporate events.
I saw you at their Christmas party the other day. So
we always bump into Ernie, guys, and it's a full circle. It's pretty crazy when I think about it. Like, I'm a kid watching Ernie, and then growing up, getting into music biz and show biz, and
right.
And now we're here.
You're still a kid.
Crazy. I'm still a kid. I'm still a kid.
Oh man, that's just so awesome. And like I said, I didn't know you taught, and you're working with special needs kids and everything. That's just an extra,
thank you,
blessing and everything. And it takes a special kind of person to do that.
Appreciate
kind of stuff. So,
thank you so much.
You seem like a really blessed guy.
Thank you. I try my best, and you got to give glory to where it's at,
Yeah. I guess the last thing I was going to ask you is, what is your earliest childhood memory? Why the trumpet? What do you remember about just the first time you picked it up and you thought maybe at some point, like, I could do this when I'm 30 years old?
My earliest memory, I guess the trumpet, but it starts even before that. So, growing up, I'm the only kid. And on my dad's side, I remember, my mom shows me pictures, my grandparents of them buying me accordion. And I remember my grandparents used to put all the Ramon Ayala on the screen.
Yes.
And I'm 4 or 5 years old. I remember singing the songs, like with the TV, and I would touch the TV and dance with the songs. My family would put me in cowboy boots, a cowboy hat. And I just remember being that kid that just sang. And I don't come from a family of musicians,
Right.
But growing up, I was with my mother, and then she was always going to the bailes, the Noche Caliente right here on the south side. And my mom's like a bailarina, whatever. She knows how to dance and everything. She's into music. So it started that way. I got into music through my family, through my mom, meaning like in the car.
Yeah.
But I just always loved music. So then my grandpa had a CD, and it was nothing but oldies that one of my uncles was burned for my grandpa. And when my grandpa would put it in his car, it was all the saxophones and the trumpets and everything, all the oldies from the 50s and 60s.
The horns, yeah.
The horns. So my grandpa's the one that told me, Mijo, I think you should play the saxophone. So long story short, I come in 6th grade at Zamora Middle School on the south side, South San. And my band director's like, hey, I ran out of saxophones. So I'm like, no way. Like, what else do I do? He's like, you could play trumpet, and whenever I get more saxophones, you go back.
Okay.
As soon as I touched my lips on that horn and the mouthpiece, I instantly fell in love with the trumpet. So when the saxophones finally came in later in the year, I said, I'm not going to be a saxophone player. I was a horn player by then. And the rest is history. I fell in love with the instrument. I fell in love with, I've always been a singer, right? I've always been singing.
Yeah.
With the pitch, harmonies,
right.
With my mom. My mom could sing too.
That's
she
awesome.
can hold a pitch. But yeah, I really dedicate my early music to my mother, because she's the one that always, in the car, she'll play all the cumbias, all the norteños mixes, and like, it'll be me and my mom. So like, I kind of like always disregarded that I don't come from a family of musicians, but my mom's a musician in my heart. She always turned on the music, and she always sang.
Maybe not a professional, but she was still a musician at heart.
So then going to high school, I wasn't in mariachi. My freshman year, I was playing football, and one day, the mariachi director heard me like yell, and I was like, "Hey!"
Yeah.
And he's like, "Chris, you could sing with that voice." I said, "No, I can't." He's like, "Join mariachi. Tell your counselor," and the rest is history. Wow. He's like, "You could sing. Here's a song." And I remember, there's some videos probably back on YouTube where I'm like all stiff, and I'm like, "Oh, you better glow." It's serious, because you got to start somewhere.
Right.
But that was mariachi voice, right? I was singing before that. But yeah, the rest.
Do you have a favorite song to sing?
Mariachi or non-traditional?
Either one. Like when you're performing it, you're like, you really like get into it. Like you really look forward to playing that song.
I don't really have a specific song, to be honest with you. There's just a lot of genres. I love all the cumbias, Sonora Dinamita. I love Bruno Mars, you know, rock, Sweet Child of Mine.
You're right.
A lot of stuff, but it's good.
That's awesome, man.
I appreciate that.
I love it. Well, every time I see you perform, it's just a treat, and I can't wait to do it again soon. So all the best to you, brother. So nice to see you and learn a little bit more about You know, the whole Chris Herrera, not
Thank
just
you.
not just this guy.
We need to put that. We need to get a new photo on the online.
Well, you do all the social media, right? So we got to
Me and Vince.
You and Vince. Pleasure to see you again. Nuevo Estilo, Mariachi Nuevo Estilo, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok.
Call us at Vince's number's 210-557-3192 or myself 210-609-9770
for mariachi, for Christmas lights, for car talk, for coffee recommendations at Dutch Bros. You give them a call for whatever. Good to see you, man. Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year, buddy.
There you have it. Another episode of Pickup Lines. One more time. I knew you would like it. I love it,
man. I knew
you would like it. Have a great day. We'll see you again soon right here on Pickup Lines. Bye for now.